Hello, my name is Chris, and today we're taking a look at the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. I've been playing quite a bit over the past few days in an attempt to increase the military readiness and ensure I manage to see the best ending for Mass Effect 3. Unfortunately, if you've been anywhere near any kind of Mass Effect forum, you'll know that a lot of fans, myself included, were not very impressed with that best ending. But thankfully that will be a topic for a different time, and today we're just talking multiplayer. So, the multiplayer, which you will need an online pass to access, consists of missions that you play through cooperatively with up to 3 other players. These missions each consist of 11 waves that you'll need to survive, with a few basic objectives thrown in from time to time. At the moment there are 6 locations to choose from when starting a mission, which does add a decent amount of variation, although you will have seen all of these locations during the single player campaign. You won't be playing as your single player character because frankly that would be too much Commander Shepard for one game to handle, and instead you create and customise new characters to use within the multiplayer. Each race and class combination have different abilities at their disposal, although you will have to unlock most of these combinations through the store. Now the store is an interesting feature, as instead of unlocking weapons and characters as you level up, you purchase booster packs that will contain a selection of items, modifications and characters, and these packs are purchased using the credits that you'll receive when completing a mission, or God forbid, you can spend real money. Thankfully you do earn credits pretty quickly, and it's not going to take you too long to afford the more expensive packs, and so you shouldn't feel the need to hand over yet more money to EA. I do like the idea of these packs, although this isn't a multiplayer game that I'll be playing all that much now that I've completed the single player, and so it would have been preferable to unlock some of these characters I wanted in a different fashion instead of prolonging the game when I didn't receive what I wanted from the booster packs. The missions themselves offer some pretty solid wave survival, and in particular the silver and gold difficulties will provide a challenge. You'll need to work together with your team and make use of a variation of different class abilities and weapons. It's good fun and feels very rewarding when you manage to scrape through a difficult wave or hold off hordes of nasties whilst your shuttle arrives. In general, the multiplayer is a fine addition to the game. It's not groundbreaking, and you'll probably not be playing it in a month's time, but it's a hell of a lot better than I was expecting when I heard that a multiplayer was being implemented that might affect your single player campaign. Speaking of which, I still would have preferred the two to remain separate, and in some ways it seems like the crossover is an incentive to get players to buy new copies of the game. Although in interviews prior to the release of Mass Effect 3 it was said multiple times that the best ending is possible without touching the multiplayer, it's certainly a lot more difficult than they made out. Without getting into any spoilers, to get the very best ending you'll need something like 4,000 effective military strength. If you don't touch the multiplayer, the galaxy readiness cuts your figure in half, so you'll need 8,000 total. For my playthrough that seems like a very tricky figure to hit, whereas most players can do it easily by playing a handful of multiplayer matches. That just seems unnecessarily harsh on those without access to the multiplayer. But in summary, the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer is a fun distraction and an opportunity to mess around with the different races and classes you haven't played before, but don't expect this to replace your other multiplayer alternatives. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.